Hello, everybody, and welcome to day five
Oh my
of our
gosh.
5-day radical authenticity aligning with our inner self challenge.
You made it.
You
We
did
made
it. We're
it.
on day five. Congratulations, everybody. So to celebrate, let us know how you're doing. Drop a high 10 emoji, drop a clap emoji, drop some knuckles, drop a GIF. Those are one of my favorite ways of communicating to celebrate. Are you excited? Are you nervous because now we have all these tools to integrate into life? Go ahead and let us know. Just drop a reaction, either an emoji or a GIF down below. Let us know how you're doing.
It's not always easy to do this introspection work, to start to dig up some childhood stuff. Sometimes it's not always that pleasant. It can be painful, but you guys are doing the work, you're putting in the effort, and you're digging deep. So let's celebrate that. You made it to day 5.
Leaning into it and moving through what might be arising, moving through resistance, moving through maybe anger, resentment, fear, scarcity. The key is moving through. If we stop at the thing, we're just going to experience more of that thing. So moving through these things, utilizing these tools and frameworks that we've been talking about as vehicles to do so, that's doing the stuff. That's work in the process. It's in the practice. So congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, when you have inner alignment, which we've been working on that a little bit, especially yesterday, and we take outer action. You made 3 action steps. A lot of you guys did such a great job on that homework assignment, and we saw it down in the comments. So, way to pinpoint what you're going to do. Then you enter the slipstream of life. I love that quote. So, let's look at that again. When you have inner alignment, and you take outer action, you enter the slipstream of life. That's when things really start flowing. So, for today, we are going to really define what you're going to focus on in different aspects of your life, in your personal life with your relationships, in your career and abundance category, in your health and fitness, and also, what is the other one we're doing
Mental
today?
and spiritual,
Yeah, the
money and abundance.
mental and spiritual. So, what do you wish to focus on in that portion of your life? So, you're going to grab the worksheet for day 5 if you have it.
There's 5 sheets for it. We're
Mhm.
dedicating one sheet to each of our focuses for the day: relationships, career, money and abundance, health and fitness, mental and spiritual.
Yep. So, the worksheet is defining your focus and alignment. If you don't have the worksheet, no worries. Grab several pieces of paper,
Mhm.
grab a writing utensil, and we'll get to that in just a moment here. We'll be walking you through it. We've been sharing a lot of tools lately to help disrupt old patterns, release stress and anxiety, and come back into alignment with yourself. But what we hear people keep saying a lot is it's really hard to make time for yourself because you are so busy. You're busy with your job, you're caring for your family, you have bills to pay. You can't even imagine adding even one more thing to your overly packed day, even if it's the one thing that will help you get out of fight or flight and into a state of peaceful balance. But prioritizing learning how to do this is the most important thing because it makes everything in your life run smoother and go better. And it'll save you from weekly therapy sessions or taking meds to be able to handle life. I mean, heck, for the longest time, we were really struggling.
We were buried underneath it. For years, I was living my life in what felt like a pretty much constant state of resistance. What I would say now is I was letting old conditioned programs from my childhood pretty much run everything, just being draped in feelings like worthlessness and taken for granted, drinking too much. I was dealing with high blood pressure and anxiety. And I had digestive issues that plagued me for years that just kept getting worse.
And I was totally shut down emotionally. I was in the habit of pushing people away so that I wouldn't get hurt. And I was blaming everyone else and everything outside of me for me not feeling good.
Running those subconscious programs.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of a saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure? Well, for us, by the time that we even got to a place of recognizing or admitting that we needed help, we were pretty much to the point of needing or hoping for a miracle cure to save not only our marriage and our relationship, but to save ourselves from ourselves too.
And then that's pretty much what happened. There were some truly miraculous things that happened in our life.
the incredible healing of my friend's back pain, and discovering and eliminating the root of anxiety our daughter was experiencing in only 7 minutes. We were introduced to kinesiology, subconscious change, and quantum energy healing work. And that helped us not only heal our marriage, but ourselves. And it altered the course of our entire lives.
So one of the outcomes of all of this, our healing journey together and by ourselves, was that ounce of prevention. And it's a practice that we're really excited to share with you. So we've created a framework for disrupting old patterns, conditioned subconscious programming, and breaking from the feeling like we need things to happen a certain way or to be a certain way or for people to behave a certain way for us to be happy. You'll learn to guide yourself internally so that you can experience more peace, less anxiety, more joy, less fear, more abundance, and less reactivity. And you don't need to meditate for 8 hours or repeat a mantra 800 times a day to do any of these.
And with these tools and practices, you can guide yourself in real time out of reaction and resentment, scarcity, and fear back to an optimal state of mind and an optimal state of being. We can have great relationships with others, and you can learn how to trust yourself and make good decisions for the authentic you. So if that sounds like something that is worth creating space for, because you're sick and tired of being in a constant state of stress and anxiety, and you're ready to take control of your inner state, we have a 6-week radical living practice series coming up on January 21st.
So right now, pricing is set at 2 for 1. So bring a friend, a sibling, a colleague, partner, parent. Having that support and camaraderie with us as we dive deeper into ourselves together is invaluable. And the best part is that we're all going to be doing it together.
Kevin and I have each developed our own focuses and our own specialties, and we will both be supporting you live for an hour and a half each week of the series, as well as in our dedicated private online group throughout the entire practice.
So if you're ready to go, book your spot right now at radicalenlightenment.com. Or you can click the link below to schedule a call so we can learn more about each other and see if it's a good fit. It's in your hands now.
And we're really looking forward to connecting with you soon. Have a great one. Bye.
All right, so on to today's opportunity and challenge. So we're going to be looking at each of the 5 categories. And before we get there, a lot of this is really about taking radical responsibility for everything that we're engaged with, everything that we're experiencing in the here and now.
Yeah, I mean, not blaming yourself, because sometimes when we gain awareness of something, we tend to self-blame. How come I just figured this out now? I've wasted so many years. So there's not blame, there's not self-blame, and there's not blaming others. Everything you've experienced in your life, everything that you've been through with your family of origin and with these experiences you've had, have led you to this moment and who you are. Whether we do things because of or counter to, we're like, I'm never going to be like that. I'm going to be something else. It's all brought you to this moment. And when we have awareness of things, that's when we can create a change. So there's no kicking yourself in the butt that you didn't have awareness before. We gain consciousness. And once there is a consciousness, now we can create a change. Now things get interesting and exciting. So shifting out of that self-blame into excitement. I'm so grateful and thankful that I have this new awareness. Now let's see what I can create in my life. I'm excited and curious about this next portion of our life, right? And it's deciding how we want to show up in the world, and we have choices. So despite what anybody else does, because we cannot control other people, we cannot control Mother Nature, what can I do with my choice? I can guide my experience through the micro decisions that I make throughout the day. I can also choose my inner state. So even if things are crappy, even if we're going through a challenge, we can choose our outlook. We can choose how we wish to internally move through with acceptance, with a state of inner peace, no matter what's happening. That's a huge key. And now we have self-empowerment to decide where we wish to focus our time and energy. That comes back to that choice. So I had Kevin create me this little chart. I don't know if you can see it very well. Yes. So you'll see a plus on one side, a minus on the other side, and all these dots in the middle. So to me, this represents the universe, and all of these dots represent the energetic imprint of us, the people in the world. So this polarity just could represent absolutely anything. It could represent a quality of personality. For example, am I somebody who is introverted and a little bit more low key? Or am I somebody who is really gregarious and loves to be around people and I'm outgoing and I like to do things a little bit crazier? This chart could represent where I fall on a political realm or with religion. What idea do I find myself gravitating towards? What policy do I find myself being a part of? And what I think is cool about this chart is that it shows every possibility. And there must be every possibility in this world because we are here to explore this contrast. We are having experiences every day, and we get to decide which direction we want to go. I love the gauge of deciding what makes you feel the most joyful and peaceful inside. And when we have a lack of anxiety, that's a state of inner ease, inner peace, right? And we might look rather than joy, maybe a sense of contentment, because that's something we can experience more every day. Joy might be a little bit more of a heightened state. But where are you guiding yourself on this chart that allows you to feel the most inner ease, the most sense of contentment when you have this world view, when you have this religious point of view, when you believe this way or that way about our government, when you believe this way or that way about maybe even some task you like to you enjoy, or let's say it's some hobby. Do I like to do something outdoors, hiking? Do I like to stay indoors and create jewelry? It's all available for you. And it's just deciding where you want to be. And what you'll notice is where you want to be on this chart is you start to find yourself, and then you look at those around you, and those tend to be your people. These are the ones you totally vibe with that are pretty close to where you find yourself on that chart. As you look around, you see those that resonate with you. It's another way to see that when you are stepping into that full authenticity of who you really are, then you have the opportunity to find those true people around you who believe the same way you do or have the similar interests that you do. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy others. It's radical acceptance. So even if somebody's on an opposite part of that chart than you are, we can still accept where they're at. We could call this acceptance of differences or radical polarity. It's like just because you're on a different part of that chart, it doesn't mean that you are not equal in value or that your opinion doesn't matter. It's just different than.
Or that someone else is worse or wrong. It's just different. And anytime we're in resistance or attachment to a thing, we're creating dis-ease within our system. We're creating a sense of the other. We're creating a sense of comparison and judgment based on these views. So this isn't a practice of holding up where we're at and pointing everything outwards. It's just in a practice of identifying what resonates here, what resonates at my core and gives me that yes, peaceful yes, without any attachment, without any resistance going on otherwise.
Choosing the framework, choosing the worldview that provides you the sense of the greatest peace and inner ease.
Yeah.
That's what, this is where take what you need, leave what you don't. Adopt those things that help you feel the most sense of understanding and inner peace. Even just this week, I had a couple of clients, and both were telling me they were feeling less than because they were a little bit more reserved in life. One of them said, in school, I always had friends that were the outgoing ones. They were a little bit more popular. They were doing things that were a little bit wild and crazy, whereas I'm more of the introvert. So what I expressed to her is, it doesn't mean one was better. It just means one was different. And often you will find one another because it forms a balance. If there's a middle ground and one's over the top, it makes sense that you would find somebody that is a little bit low key so that you balance one another out. The one that's over the top might love that sense that you are a little bit more reserved, you are stable, you are dependable, you are grounded, and they can count on you. Whereas you might like somebody who's like doing things that are a little bit more adventurous, stuff that you would never do because it's exciting to you. So neither one is better than the other. It's just different. And I worked with another woman just a couple days after that. Same thing. She's like, "Well, I find myself a little bit more, I like to stay inside. I'm a little bit more reserved. I'm not that outgoing." And I told her the question is, do you like the person that you are? Do you enjoy being at home? Do you enjoy being a little bit more reserved? Or is this a call to you? Do you have a heart's yearning that I'd like to be more outgoing? I'd like to get out more. I'd like to form new friendships. So, this is about asking you where you want to be on the chart. When you consider yourself, can you be at peace with where you're at? Or do you feel this inner calling? Do you feel like, ooh, I'd like to explore this other side of myself a little bit more? And if so, this is where you can start pushing those boundaries, going outside of your comfort zone. So if you are a person that wants to be more gregarious and get out there, then okay, I'm going to join a hiking group.
Yeah.
I am going to join a cooking class. I am going to do this art class where I'm learning about this certain technique where I can be around others. I'm going to take a yoga class with the community. It's thinking about how you can get involved and get in with the community and go and talk to someone. After class today, I'm going to go put myself out there and say hi and ask a person a question, right?
Yeah, not can I, how can I? Can I is a yes or no. It's a binary answer. Your system is not given any kindling to really work with. How can I, with today's exercises, how can I have more successful relationships? How can I connect more with my children? How can I find a partner in life who is aligned with my worldviews, with my perceptions, with my way of doing things? That's really rich, fertile ground for our systems to really be operating from.
Let's get into this right now.
All right.
Grab your paper.
So a couple different pieces of paper. If
Yep.
you've got the worksheets, you're already set. If you don't have the worksheets, we're going to grab 5 pieces of paper and we're going to label them relationships, career, money and abundance, health and fitness, and mental and spiritual. Or
Mental and spiritual is one.
mental, spiritual is one.
Yep.
Health, fitness is one. Money, abundance is one. Career is one. Relationships is one. So, for each page, we're going to look at 3 things. What do I want to focus on right now? And then secondarily, these are going to be done on your own for each of them. What are some of the potential challenges preventing me from doing this? And how can I counteract these challenges? So 3 questions on each page. What am I focusing on right now? What do I want to focus on right now? What are some potential challenges from keeping me from doing this? And how can I counteract these challenges?
So the last 2 questions you're going to answer on your own later today, hopefully. First question we're going to go through together.
Do together for each of them right now. So go ahead and grab your relationships page and think about what you would like to focus on right now in your relationships. It can be a specific relationship, it can be relationships in general. Some things to consider when you're deciding on what to focus on. What do I want to experience in regards to the family relationships in my life, friendship relationships in my life, romantic relationships in my life? Do I want to find a partner or become more intimate with a partner I already have? Do I want to break up with a partner, but I haven't yet? Do I want new friendships with people who are more aligned with my interests and values? Do I want to spend less time with certain friend groups?
Maybe there's some conflict that you've experienced with a family member that you would like to reach out to them to see if you could talk about it to overcome that challenge and become closer together.
Am I feeling disconnected from someone in my life who I really value that connection? I want to reestablish that connection. If you have kids, is there something I'd like to do to enhance my relationship with them? Spend more time with them, go on hikes, have family game nights. So for you, wherever you're at, what would you like to focus on in your relationships?
So it could be I just got out of a relationship. I'm focusing on healing myself right now. Getting comfortable with who I am. Maybe it's those that are looking for a partner. I am going to put myself on a couple of dating apps. Um, was working with a woman recently, so sweet, and she said, my husband asked me to be more empathetic and not to step in with a solution all the time. So she is working on being empathetic and just listening to him rather than offering feedback. So that would be a very clear goal you could write down for yourself.
Okay.
Let's write down a few things, get specific.
All right. For our next one, we're going to look at our career. So what would we like to focus on right now within our careers? What is necessary for me to do in order to earn a promotion or take on more responsibility at work? What are some steps I can take right now to do that? Do I want a new job that I'm more aligned with? Am I unhappy with my career or with my industry or with my current job and I'm looking for a change? Is that my focus? What's the first step? What's the first step I need to do to enact change in that regard? Would I like to do something completely different? Would I like to change course altogether? Is there a new training that really lights me up? There's a new concept or new idea that really lights me up. It's something I can do as a profession, as a career. Is there a process that I can streamline to make work easier so things aren't quite as overwhelming or feel so daunting or out of my grasp? Is it my best and highest good right now to staff my weaknesses? Do I need to hire someone so that I can focus on doing other things if I own my own business? Are there repeatable tasks that I can hand off to somebody else? If so, what are they? And what quality of person would I want to bring in to fulfill that role?
A couple of you mentioned in the comments that you were working on writing a book. So maybe it's deciding on your outline. These are the chapters. I'm just going to look at 10 chapters in my book, and these are the topics. What would you be willing to do right now to, what is it? Get a leg up?
Yeah, take that next step.
Yeah.
Take that next step forward.
My dad was taking some time off for Thanksgiving vacation. He's retirement age, but he has a job and he loves his work. And he said to me, we had a little call today, and he said, I realized I don't ever want to be retired without a job. He said, I'm so bored. He said, I can't wait to go to work every morning. He loves the social connection. He loves going there, talking to people, joking with people.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want to do? What do you find that lights you up? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Maybe you want to start a podcast. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has one these days. So it's like, maybe I have something to say. Maybe I'd like to start a podcast too. So I'm going to Google how to start a podcast, right?
Absolutely.
So let's go next to money
and
and
abundance.
abundance.
So, what are my goals? What am I focusing on with money and abundance?
Get specific. How much per month? How much per year?
What is my
Right?
what is my yearly financial goal right now? What is my monthly financial goals right now? Do I want to open up a savings account or some type of a money market account for travel or retirement? What are my focuses? What do I want money for? What do I want to use it for? What do I want to have fun with? What ways do I want to have fun with it?
The why is so important. If you had more than you needed, what would you do with that money?
Yeah.
Maybe there's something you would want to donate to.
Would you invest it? Would you donate it? Would you spend it on others? Would you take trips? The more specific we can get, the more clear we create a blueprint and a path for our system to then achieve what we're laying out as a framework for it to follow. So do I want to learn more about investing? Do I want to learn about day trading? Do I want to learn about crypto? Do I want to learn about NFTs? Do I want to learn about blockchain? What are things that light me up regarding money and abundance? If I have more than I need, when I have more than I need, not if, what do I want to do with these extra funds? Get specific, make sure it's personal for you. Okay, our next one is health and fitness. What do I want to focus on right now in my health and fitness? Do I want to work on better sleep, more exercise, being able to do 10 pull-ups, being able to run a mile, being able to walk to the mailbox without getting shortness of breath? It's entirely up to us. It's hyper personal, hyper focused on what we want, where we're at right now. Are we recovering from an injury? Are we looking to stop drinking or stop smoking? Um, is there an activity that I can do that I haven't been doing that I want to incorporate? Like Kelly said, join a hiking group, join a softball league, join a pickleball club. There are innumerous ways. They're beyond a number of ways to express ourselves with physical, mental health.
So get specific.
Get
I am
specific.
cutting potato chips out at night. I am not having alcohol at night with dinner.
I'm drinking 40 ounces
Um,
of water a day.
I'm going to have a vitamin-rich, nutrient-rich smoothie in the morning for breakfast. I will commit to walking twice a week. I'm going to reach out to a few friends that I know or neighbors and see if one of them will walk with me on each day. Then we have this human connection, friendship. It's almost like free therapy. Talk
Creating
to
a
each other
support,
about your
yeah, creating a
life, right?
support network for
As
what our focus is.
as you're exercising.
Yeah.
Well, walking is, gosh, for me, that's been my saving grace over quarantine time. So get specific. What are those things? I'm going to do Wim Hof breath. I'm going to find a YouTube video and do some breath work, which is really good for my immune system.
Get out, physically connect with nature, rebound, jump, run, whatever it is. And then our last category is our mentality and spirituality, mental state and spiritual state. What are we focusing on there for us right now? What are some practices, mental or spiritual practices, that I can utilize as a daily, weekly, bi-weekly, couple times a week practice to enhance my inner state? To Kelly's point, is it a breathwork practice, daily breathwork practice, meditation practice, maybe first thing in the morning, or a reflection practice last thing before you go to bed?
Maybe there's a book. Some of you also posted some wonderful books that you recommend. The Four Agreements, The Untethered Soul,
Allow
right?
and invite new ideas into our space so that we can assimilate and we can adapt and we can create more abundance, more perspective on the inside with new perspective, with new insights.
Maybe there's a spiritual group you would like to join or tune into, whether it's online or in person.
Maybe it's a qigong or a martial arts or a yoga practice that you're looking to incorporate. And again, these don't have to be in isolation. Martial arts, yoga, we're talking physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. It's all encapsulated. So you're checking off a lot of boxes depending on what the focus that you are really resonating with is.
Listening to podcasts on topics that you find interesting to increase your neural network, keep learning, so you could do that while walking. I'm listening to a podcast as I'm walking around the block, so I'm getting my exercise and I'm taking in new information. Lewis Howes has a wonderful podcast that I like, Howes, first name Lewis, and he interviews interesting people from all walks of life. Best relationship coach, best financial people, best people who talk about spiritual practices or a way to enhance your life, self-help, athletes, actors. So every time I listen to one of his podcasts, I learn something new. These are people that are doing amazing things in the world, so it keeps me inspired. It keeps me feeling optimistic about things. I always learn something every time I listen to it. So you can listen to that one, or I'm sure you have your own that you like to listen to. When you listen to it, you feel good. You feel that joyful and peaceful. That's what I feel when I listen to those, rather than watching the news where I feel fear and despair. What could you listen to that causes you to feel inner peace and inner joy?
So we got through all 5 kind of quickly. So take your time if this was a little bit fast paced for you. If you've got the worksheets, utilize those. If you don't have the worksheet, we're identifying our focus for each of those categories.
Specific.
Get specific.
Yep.
Get very specific action steps. Visualize. These are the things I'm going to do in each of the categories of relationships, career, money and abundance is one, health and fitness is one, and our mental and spiritual space
And then
is one.
remember, what are some potential challenges that would get in the way, and how do you plan to overcome those? So write those out. And then in today's assignment, just like you guys did yesterday, you're going to take about 3 of those things that you will focus on in your life and post those publicly. Hold yourself accountable, put it out there into the universe. I am committing to doing these certain things, and this is how I'm going to do it, and I've put it in my calendar, and I will follow through on those. You guys did such an excellent job with yesterday's homework. For those of you watching this later, make sure you still do the homework, get in there, post it publicly. There's something about like writing it out,
Yeah.
putting it out there in the world to see. You know, I'm one of those people that
creates energy around the thing. It
Yeah.
creates reality around the thing, and it helps to create ownership and ownness of the thing as well.
tell your friends and family. I know
Yeah.
I've heard some
Hey, this
things
is
that
what I'm
are
doing right now.
some people believe don't tell others, keep it private, but I say, put it out there
Yeah.
because then like in a situation in a family, if I'm working on something and I tell Kevin that, he's going to be cheering me on. He's going to help support. Or if I go off the rail, he'll be like, "Hey babe, you
What
weren't going
happened
to
with
do that."
thing? Yeah.
So I'd say put it out there.
So, if you are interested in learning more about our upcoming Radical Living course, drop a
Yeah.
comment down below. If you haven't gotten the worksheets yet, you're looking to go through and really use that or have those as a framework, drop
Just let us
worksheet
say
or just say,
yeah,
hey, can I have the
yes.
worksheet? Just
Yeah.
yes, let us know that you haven't gotten it and you do want it. We'll send that off to you.
Absolutely.
Do today's exercise as the cap of our expansive week that we've just experienced.
And follow through
Follow through.
on what you commit to.
Yes.
It's
And part of that is share your action steps in our group. Kelly and I will be doing that later today as well.
You guys, we're so happy to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much for showing up, for
Yeah.
doing the work, for being here, for engaging, doing this for yourself. And when you do that for yourself, it's community service
Yeah.
because when you enhance that inner sense of ease and peace, we ripple out everybody that we encounter, the grocery store clerk, your children, your neighbors. You enhance that relationship that you have with everybody. So thank you guys for showing up. It's been an honor and a privilege.
Absolutely.
And we love being here on this journey with you. So
Thank you
thank
for
you so
sharing so
much.
much with us, and we look forward to more.
Bye, you guys. Until next time.
Have a great week. Have a great weekend.